Hey guys, welcome back to Builds by Maz. Today I'll be showing you how you can add insulation to your garage door in just one day without any power tools and for just over $100. Let's get started. I'm using these garage insulation kits from Home Depot. Each one comes with 8 pre-cut boards, and you'll need 2 packs to cover a full-size garage door. The styrofoam side has a bunch of pre-cut slits in it, which help with ease of installation, whereas the surface side is kind of a hard plastic material. Each piece of insulation will fit into one of these rectangles on the back side of the garage door. They're pre-cut to the correct height to fit most garage doors, but you may just need to trim the length. Here's one thing to keep in mind when making your measurements. On each rectangle of my garage door, one side was flat, whereas the other side was recessed behind this metal piece. So when you're measuring, you need to make sure you actually measure all the way from end to end, going behind what's visible. I measured out the correct length on the first rectangle and then transferred those numbers to the first piece of insulation. From there you can just line up a straight edge, and using a box cutter, you can score through that hard plastic protective layer, and then just snap the end off. These don't require any adhesive to stay in place, and if you've done your measurements correctly, you should be able to slide them under the recesses on your garage door. A snug fit is all you need to keep it secure. From there, you can just move to the next rectangle and repeat the process. This is super DIY friendly, and you can get by without any power tools at all. Here's a better view of the garage door recesses. I found that it was best to slide the board up and to the left, wedging it behind these metal pieces, and then fitting the rest of the insulation into place. If your garage door has struts, which is this big metal reinforcement piece, you won't be able to fit the insulation board behind it, so we'll need to remove it first. Having a hex bit attachment on your drill is going to save you a ton of time, but you can also do this by hand with a socket wrench if that's all you've got. I worked from the outside in, and after removing this last middle screw, I was able to remove the strut on my own. They're really not very heavy. One other issue I found was that all these garage panels are connected by these screws, and as you can see, they go back behind this recess, which can prevent the insulation from sliding all the way back behind the metal piece. The way I worked around this was by removing each of these screws 90% of the way, leaving them in the garage door, but now you can see that the gap behind them is empty and will allow room for the insulation to slide behind it. You just have to remember that when it's in place, you need to go back and retighten those screws. From there, it's just a matter of repeating the process for the rest of the panels. After the first couple, you'll start to get the hang of things and can install them faster. I removed this second garage strut before continuing upwards. It's important that you don't just measure once and assume all the garage panels are the same size. You can see here that this rectangular panel is much shorter than this one, and the pre-cut insulation piece is too tall to fit inside. If you run into this issue, you just need to score the insulation lengthwise, and you can snap it off to the correct length. I found that a standard paint can opener was a great tool for this process, in case I needed to reach behind and make any little adjustments. Really, the only way that you could make a mistake here is if you accidentally measure incorrectly and cut your piece of insulation too short. Besides that, it's a pretty straightforward process that you should be able to complete in just a couple hours. Here I was at the halfway point. I left the garage like this for about an hour to let it heat up so I could take the temperature. Using this thermometer gun, I tested out the non-insulated side, which came in at over 100 degrees, and then moving to the insulated side, dropped all the way below 90. It was about a 12 or 13 degree difference, which is pretty significant. This doesn't mean that it's going to lower my total garage air temperature by 13 degrees, but I still think it's worth it. This garage faces the sun all day, so having any kind of insulation is really going to be a big help. Now my garage is a bit oversized. Whereas most garages are 4 of these rectangles wide by 4 tall, you'll see that mine's actually 5 tall, adding 4 extra panels, which means I had these 4 uncovered spaces. Now I could have bought another $60 kit and used half of it, but I realized I had all these scrap pieces, and I thought I might try to just put them together. Most of these pieces were already the perfect height, since they were just the excess that I trimmed off from the original insulation boards. It was just a matter of Tetrising all the pieces together and providing as much coverage as possible. I then used some white seam tape to cover up all the gaps. This might not be as pretty as having actual full-size boards, but it saved me 60 bucks and it's going to work almost just as well. The final step was to reinstall these struts, and it's really important to make sure that everything is screwed back in place tightly. But then the garage was done. If you have a regular uninsulated garage, I definitely recommend this project. It's quick, simple, and it really does make a difference, especially if you're in a really hot or cold climate. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to catch the next project.